This is Robin Young, President of the Indiana Library Federation, and I'd like to welcome everyone to viewing this first recording of many with Indiana Library Federation leaders and members. ILF has over 2,000 institutional and personal members. Our 200 leadership positions include the ILF board, the leaders within the associations for school, public, and academic librarians, the committees, divisions, and districts. This has been a year of tremendous change, and we want to make sure that all of our leaders are fully informed of the changes that have already occurred and those that are coming within the next year. On behalf of ILF Vice President David Peter and the rest of the board, thank you for joining your statewide professional association. Active engagement in your Indiana Library Federation is what makes us strong and helps us advance our field. As you will see, one of our work plan priorities is increased engagement and communication with members. We know that many members and even some leaders feel disconnected from the work of ILF and that you feel that you are out there working on your own. We aim to change that, providing additional support to you as our core volunteers and many opportunities to provide input in the strategic direction and activities of the organization. Indiana Library Federation is one of the largest statewide library associations in the country. ILF includes members from academic, public, school, and special libraries, as well as the groups who support libraries, such as library board trustees, friends groups, and affiliated companies or vendors. We thank you for your membership and support of ILF. ILF has evolved over its 125-year history, merging with several groups over the last 20 years. In the last year, ILF merged with the ILF Endowment, maintaining its scholarship and restricted funds. ILF has faced other transitions, including in the office. Some of you also participated in the 2016 ILF Camp Leadership in January, which included a focused discussion about what ILF leaders hope to see in a new executive and for the future of ILF. After a long transition period with an interim executive director, we hired Lucinda Nord to lead us into the future. Lucinda brings a 25-year career of nonprofit management, including in 2 statewide organizations. Within her first few weeks, Lucinda met with board members, leaders of associations, committees, divisions, and districts. Using the aspirations tools from the Harwood Institute, she heard about members' aspirations for ILF and the library community, the challenges people see, and the changes needed to achieve these aspirations. In addition to the aspirations, challenges, and changes she heard from members, Lucinda also reviewed the internal financial and programmatic data, bylaws, standing rules, policies, and procedures. On August 11th of 2016, the board approved a work plan designed to lay the foundation for the creation of the strategic plan we will develop with members over the next year. Lucinda is sharing detail about the 5 components of our work plan in a separate recording. Staff and volunteers are working diligently on the 5 elements of the plan, and as we listen to members and leaders, we are also shuffling elements of the plan and adding and editing as we go. But we have made substantial progress already. The main idea is that we want to lay the foundation for a larger scale strategic plan that will be developed with members over the next 9 to 10 months. ILF would love to hear from you as to what you think about the plan or ideas that you have to advance the future of libraries. Now that you've heard a little about the last year of transition and the work plan, we want to talk to you as our leaders. We need you to help serve as our feedback loop, to provide constructive criticism, and act as our champions for positive change. I'd like to speak to each group of leaders specifically. First up, I'm going to talk to the ILF committee members. And you'll see on our slide that there's a list of what is included with our ILF committees. Part of our work is to align the committees with the work of the board. Earlier this year, we implemented board liaison positions to each committee where the committee chair was not a board member. We want our committees to be closer to the board as committees recommend actions that have program or fiscal implications on ILF. The committee work must directly align with our organizational mission and vision. To our ILF association leaders, this is perhaps one of the areas for most substantial discussion. The bylaws list 4 formal associations with many rules for each. Leaders within each of the associations admit that the bylaws and standing rules in the current configuration have not been followed consistently. This is not a criticism of any association or individual leader. Rather, our organization has outlived its prior structure and does not match our legal status. For example, IL has 43 official board positions from its 230 members total and includes fiduciary and programmatic responsibilities that should be handled by ILF. ILF has not followed its bylaws for nominating or slating processes in recent years. Instead, a willing group of members has stepped forward each year to maintain the meetings and activities. ILTA, the Association for Trustees, has not met in years as a formal association. IPLA also went for years without meeting or following the formal processes as listed on paper. And IALA has maintained its organization with a very small leadership group. We want to create a future that recognizes and supports our individual member needs and advances the mission. We are working hard to abide by the current conflicting bylaws this year while we work to amend the bylaws for next year. To our ILF division leaders, we have many divisions, some of which are not active throughout the year or which only focus on conferencing. As division leaders, you have a unique perspective that is shared within a division. Last week, we emailed you a series of questions we hope you will facilitate either at the ILF Division Roundtable meeting at the conference next week or at a future conference call yet this year. One of the board members may join your division to help answer questions and show our support for your work. We respectfully ask you to provide us a summary of your discussion. Ask about the content or skills needed for people who work in those jobs 7 to 10 years from now. Where will we be in the future? What are your shared aspirations? What is a challenge unique in your division and about a possible project your division is willing to take on in the next year? To our ILF district leaders, Lucinda has met with some of you already and is eager to meet with all of the district leaders. The district is often the first introduction to ILF for a member. The board in October voted on an outline for our strategic planning process in 2017. Part of this process includes a member engagement session in the spring within each district. The board has asked any district that is planning a conference either to, 1, include a 2-hour session about visioning the future of libraries and ILF in the conference day and to work by the ILF conferencing principles, or 2, hold a roundtable meeting session to discuss the future of libraries, perhaps foregoing regular LEU conference content. Lucinda, Megan, and Tisa will work with each district on planning a conference or meeting according to the guidelines and principles for conferencing. ILF will manage the details, providing support to volunteers. Please also note that we aim to develop stronger relationships with special groups, such as our friends groups across the state, affiliates, retirees, and students. Libraries have many supporters that we want to embrace as we envision our future together. On behalf of the board, we want to thank our members for joining your State Library Association and encourage you to get involved. The board also extends its appreciation to members who step up to a leadership role in an association, committee, division, or district. Thank you so much for your service in a leadership capacity. This slide here lists a few of our next steps. We are eager to engage our members and leaders at a deeper level, most importantly about what will help Indiana's libraries thrive in the future. We have a special request to members and leaders in divisions, although this also applies to association committees and districts as well. 11 roundtables will be held November 9th at the annual conference. Last week, leaders received an email requesting that you facilitate 4 questions within your division and to provide a summary back to the ILF office. We want your best ideas about what will help advance libraries for the future, but specific to the people in a division or unit. One of the greatest assets of ILF is our inclusiveness of all within the library community. However, that means it is more important for you to help the board and Lucinda understand the specific needs within your unit. For example, when Lucinda met with CYPD leaders in October, they had a lively discussion about the challenge in programming for overscheduled children and teens and how to serve an increasingly diverse community. The Distance Learning Division shares unique challenges about providing adequate educational support to students via the internet. Help us understand your specific aspirations, challenges, needs for skill development, or the changes that are hot in your field right now. As referenced on a prior slide, we hope you will join our next calls and recorded sessions. We will provide updates about the work plan and other topics, such as professional development, and the specific questions in the strategic visioning process, and then prepare for our leadership retreat. We will also post mini sessions to help explain the data and rationale for some of our work. On behalf of the ILF board, thank you again for your interest in advancing Indiana's libraries for the future. Feel free to send us any questions, comments, or feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for your time.